Caribbeans and Africans, or like the Black Caucus in California. Most of them is Black immigrants, and they do things to undermine us, and we realize they're not us. So it's easy for them to betray us. I'm not saying we don't have no coons that'll betray us. We always had coons that'll betray us, but it's few of them. And it takes more to betray your own people than somebody who's foreign. Like it's easier for me to go betray a Nigerian than my own people. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy for any bloodline to go betraying people that's foreign to them than they own. You know what I'm saying? So, these people they do things to make sure we don't win, no matter what. And they always put immigrants first. They make sure immigrants get paid. And then when you look up, immigrants own all of our neighborhood, and we don't really own nothing in our own neighborhood. And you think it's just because immigrants work harder, but that's impossible. How can they came here with no money? We had more money than them. How did they wind up in that position to own this business and that car wash and that Chinese liquor store and that? How? And they all from different countries. How are they all more successful than us? That's literally by design. That's not because they work that much harder. You know what I'm saying?
But,
They're getting
but
approved.
I'm gonna say this too, and then I'll get a floor to Yo. What's up? Welcome to the panel. Um, trust me, bro. Even though, I mean, now I kind of sound like like I'm not Black American, but even though I'm a first generational born American, I study everything the white man does to hold me back, because as far as I have a blue passport, I get treated the same fucking way up until I open my mouth and they ask me, hey, where's your name from? Oh, I'm Nigerian. I feel the temperament shift in the room. Like, oh, okay, he's.
Yeah.
So I will say that I have benefited from that in my life, but I will say I see the construct set up. It's a nasty one. It's a real nasty one. And I used to talk to a lot of jits that used to be in a jail, where they can't seem to learn from their mistakes as to why they about to do 40, 50, 60, 70 plus because of some dumb shit that he could have walked away from, right? And with that
That's
being
another one. But God, I want to get on that too.
as horrible as the construct is, just like Skeeter said earlier, I see motherfuckers make the dumbest choices. And you missed this part of the stream, but I keep saying it. There's two ways to kill a man. You do it physically or you starve him. For y'all to know that this is the power that's going on against y'all, and y'all know the importance of money, why are y'all still spending money with these white people? Why is Michael Kors, Tommy Hilfiger, this guy still seeing money that don't flow into your community at fucking all? Never does, right? It never does. And it's like you guys would rather say, nah, I bought the real, Michael Kors versus buying it off the African on, like Canal Street, knowing that he gonna re-up and just come back with more good quality fake shit to sell you. But at least that money is staying amongst people that look like you, rather than going to those dudes and to go to the Jews and then go to Israel and to build up wherever those people from. It's like, okay, if y'all know this is a situation, you're gonna delineate. Is there a plan to stop spending your money with these people?
Yes. Yes, for sure. For sure. That's coming. It's just coming slowly, bro. But that's
Why is that
coming.
coming slowly? That's a
For
daily option.
example, no, no, no.
Hold on.
Being
You find out that the Chinese spot is dead ass cooking rats. Like, it's not even a joke no more. Like, we done confirmed niggas.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we know that now.
Like, you gonna keep going into the Chinese spot and dropping money in there? No, you not, nigga. You gonna stop spending money there immediately. So why is that coming? Why is that a process?
No, it's a all right. I'm gonna break it down, but I also want to say when you making that comparison, that's also not fair, because it is the same thing in Africa. It's the same exact thing in Africa. It's the same thing in Jamaica. In Africa, them Chinese, they buying it up. They giving y'all credit, and then they coming in and taking over. and y'all still spending money with these people, knowing they don't fuck with y'all. White people too. The British, white people too. It's the same thing. It's the same shit in Africa. They doing it in Jamaica right now. The Chinese taking over. The Jamaicans is rather spend money with the Chinese than the Jamaicans. Nigeria, these people would rather spend, Chinese is coming in making babies and shit like that. It's a Chinese takeover in Africa, pretty much. You see, Akon got that $1 billion in credit and didn't even do nothing with it. He basically sold niggas out to the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Because with that credit, they come in to take over. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But
yeah.
I'm just saying what you're saying is not. That's the only thing about sometimes when y'all criticize Black Americans is when y'all do criticize Black Americans, it's not something that's exclusive to Black Americans. This is something you're gonna see all over the world,
Yeah, but
especially with other Black people.
no, because I think you're simplifying a very complex kind of situation.
And
Dollars
I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that
dollars
though.
spent by Nigerians in
Hmm.
Nigeria don't necessarily enrich people. It's not the same. It's not the same capitalistic system set up in the U.S. Inside of Nigeria, most people are vendors. They're hustling, hustling, hustling. So they
Hmm.
actually do buy from each other most of the time because they are the only ones that can provide bottled water on the street. Or maybe, like there's only a couple people that could chop down wood so that you could get, logs and shit like that. But it's all like barter to barter system. You don't have these large Walmart, type of systems there that are owned by, some random Chinese
They don't
dude.
have to, bro. They don't have to. Where all the imports coming from? They're not making everything in house in Nigeria, or even a lot of things in house in Nigeria. Where all the imports coming from?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Most of the things they're selling are foreign products from China, from America. Most of the things they're selling are foreign products, bro, and they selling it to each other, and they're buying these
well,
foreign products
well, their biggest exports is rice, oil, and amongst a couple of things. But what I'm trying to say to you is,
yeah, yeah.
right, like they are only purchasing things from foreigners that they absolutely cannot buy from anyone else. And we're talking about Africa, which is already landlocked. Then you have the
Okay.
US where you have the option to, let's say, buy a pair of jeans or buy a clothing store full of jeans, and y'all will choose to buy it from a foreigner versus you literally have someone with the capacity to sell you the same shit who look just
Mhm.
like you, and you just decide, nah. And that's why the dollar only stays inside of the Black community for an average of 4 to 7 hours, versus when it comes
Mhm.
to Jews, it's about, I think, anywhere between 7 and 28 days,
And I'm
which
gonna
is
answer that. I'm gonna answer the difference. The answer is proximity. What we just explained for the last 30 minutes was how immigrants come here and open up businesses in Black neighborhoods. The reason why our money go to immigrants is because they open up businesses in Black neighborhoods, and they are in our neighborhoods in proximity to us. If we delineate and get rid of all the immigrants, the money is going to circulate within itself naturally. Naturally. That's why I said it's coming. That's the whole reason why we're delineating, bro. That's the whole reason why we
because
delineate. It's not just for reparations. Reparations is another thing that we need because we need what's owed to us, our land back, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But also we see that we're giving our money to foreigners, all foreigners. It doesn't matter. I'm not just talking about Africans. I don't want y'all to just think it's just Africans. It's Hispanics, it's Asians, it's other whites. You heard?
yeah, but
We're
the
giving our money,
Africans,
but hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, bro. We're giving our money to foreigners, and they're taking it back home, or whatever the case may do, doing whatever they do with it. They're not contributing back to the Black American community, and then they're saying, "Fuck us, we ain't shit when we lazy."
that's
But we
true.
didn't have to. We didn't have to support your business or store that you opened up in our hood. We could have said, "Fuck your business. I'm gonna go shop with my niggas."
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
But
But
but um first, let me just read a super chat. Shout out to Drew for the $1.99. Thank you for being a part of the
mhm.
panel, bro, and thank you for your support. He says the selling to the Negro explains this in black. I think I got to start doing more live streams having these conversations. I think like the fact that this conversation has been going for 10 hours, and I feel like it's still something I want to keep talking about. I want to keep breaking down because, like I said before, you guys have educated me on a level I've never really thought to research this shit because it's very easy to just go with the narrative. Well, you feel me? Y'all niggas is traumatized. Y'all lazy. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, man. You feel me? Like niggas gonna get it and some niggas not. But you really are explaining a real situation. You are 1,000% correct. When my family earned money and things like that, well, at least I'll speak for my parents. She's not quick to spend that money amongst other blacks. She's putting that money in her family pocket back home, and she's gonna spend it amongst some Jewish niggas, some Spanish niggas. There is no deliberate intention to enrich the black community. But me and my mom have two completely different mentalities. I am Black American; she's not. So she might see things a certain way. I see things as if I'm ever gonna build something.
I gotta correct you on that, bro.
What?
You could say you Nigerian Black American because that's what I want to say to immigrants like you that really fuck with us. Or not immigrants, you was born here or whatever. But you fuck with us. When you call yourself a Black American, you give us no identity to call ourselves. So just be mindful of that.
Nigerian American. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Or
I
even
mainly
not
call
like that.
myself that.
Even if you say you Nigerian Black American, all right, cool. Now we understand. But like, because I hear Jamaicans do it all the time. Yo, I'm a Black American. They're not thinking, yo, what are we gonna call ourselves if all y'all niggas call yourselves Black American? Like, what are we gonna call ourselves, bro? You damn near erasing our identity just because you understand what I'm saying?
But you got to
But
understand why that doesn't come to the prefrontal. Like it doesn't come up that way because if we don't niche down the conversation, you have to understand that regardless of the inner workings of our dynamics that happen as Black people in this country, I do not walk around outside. I'm Nigerian American. As far as I'm concerned, as long as there's slave catchers outside, motherfuckers is shooting black people. I could get thrown in prison. A white girl can accuse me of this. I'm going through the same thing you're going through. The only time I ever have to make that distinction for real is when I'm talking to someone like you. Outside of that, they don't view me as being no different. And
they do,
obviously,
bro.
like my situation is a little different as well because, once you learn my name, you're like, all right, nigga, you're fucking African. You're not even.
White people fuck with immigrants more than they fuck with us.
That's
It's an
true.
innate thing. It don't matter. You could have been born here. You could talk just like us. If they figure you're any kind of immigrant, they'll fuck with you more. There's a reason. It's a psychological reason for that. It goes back to what we was talking about when me and Nakamizu was having an argument about being American Indian versus being from Africa from the 1600s. If we was really from Africa, they wouldn't have that much problem with us, bro. We wouldn't have no power. You understand what I'm saying? Like we wouldn't have no power. We was born here as slaves. Now we're free. What power would we have? The reason why they have so much a problem with us is because they've been trying to colonize the land. And we have land. We have millions of acres of land that's still in our family that if we was to go back and get it, it will overturn a lot of cities. A lot of cities, a lot of billionaire businesses. They on our land right now. You talk to any Black American, they'll tell you, yo, I got ancestors that got land, or I got family that got land. You heard? For example, there was a Black American family who have Cherokee Indian roots. Um, in California, they family, they ancestry owned the whole, was it Manhattan Beach in California? It was one of the beaches, one of a big beach. And I think it was from LA, like in LA around that area or something. You heard? But they own the whole beach, my nigga. The whole beach, they owned that shit. And they was able to get it back through the courts. Once they found out that, they had ancestry that owned it, they was able to get it back through the courts. And there's a lot of Black Americans like that, bro. That own straight up towns and shit. And you wouldn't know because it was stolen from you. That's why they try their hardest to get us to think we're from Africa. You heard it, it's solely because we have land and our ancestry that's still around that we can go and get if we figure that out. You heard? So they have to try their hardest to get us to believe we are foreign to America and we're immigrants as well. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
because here's the thing other immigrants don't really understand. I know they always think like, yo, me, I gotta feed my family or my people back where I'm from, right? This is what they don't understand. That these white people, they understand. If they lose hair to black Americans, everybody gets free. If they lose hair in America to black Americans, everybody gets free. White supremacy is dead.
Mm-hmm.
America is the forefront for white supremacy. If
Mm-hmm.
they lose here, they could lose anywhere. They could lose in Britain and they'll be okay. They could lose in motherfucking Germany, they'll be okay. They could lose in Russia. If they lose here, white supremacy is dead. It's dead. Everybody's free.
And that's what
This
I
is
was
like,
trying to get your other FBA brothers to understand. They're like, why can't y'all go free your own country? I'm like, bro, y'all are the cream of the crop right now. If y'all win, everybody wins. But the fact of
but
the matter that y'all are, which is what I said, because we view y'all as being so powerful, but y'all are literally powerless. It's very easy for some African nigga to come over here and be like, man, y'all not shit, man. Come on, like
but that's the issue. That's the issue right there. If we win, everybody's free. But yet, if we don't cut and just objectively speaking, all immigrants, if we don't cut immigrants off, our money, just like you said, will always go to immigrants in our communities. We will never have another Black Wall Street. Never. We won't. Every resource we get will get funneled through. White people have figured out ways to funnel every resource that we get to immigrants. They came up with the people of color shit. When they started moving the Hispanics over here, they came up with this term people of color as if we're the same thing. You know, we're not the same thing. Like and they called them minorities, right? That's a trick because that's a trick. That's like you going to Colombia and saying I'm a minority. I deserve some shit.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not from there. You're not. You don't have a history of racism there. You don't have nothing going on that you know. That's a
Yeah.
trick. So they started comparing our plight to Hispanics, to Asians, you know, and they was able to if we get some resources, they'll say this is for people of color, Hispanics, Asians, blacks. So now all our money is getting funneled through Hispanics and Asians, and then the blacks that is getting funneled through it be Caribbeans or Africans. It won't even be us. We'll be in the back of the line. So we kind of have to cut people off because we're gonna lose the fight that way. We're gonna lose the fight if all our resources get funneled through a billion, 2 billion niggas. It's 2 billion niggas. 1.5 nigga, 1.5 billion niggas in Africa. You know, then the minute the Caribbeans have what probably 10, 20 million. You know what I'm saying? Then you got South America. That's another 20. It's a lot of people that's feeding off, that's eating off for us, bro. And we're gonna lose that way. Immigrants are helping them win. They helping white people win. You know what I'm saying? They helping us lose by doing that. And they only getting a little bit of money to take back to their country.
You want to know something, bro?
That
I, I really have to admit, I think this conversation, and I'm saying this because you're very, I think you out of a lot of the others from earlier, not to knock them down because they were great too. Y'all are really educating me on shit I've never really thought about, maybe because I really didn't have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
I'm
surface
not
level,
someone,
bro. Yeah, I
I'm
understand.
yeah, I'm not someone that's gonna make my money and send it to Africa. Like I said, I have no communication with any of my family in Africa. I'm thinking about the family I'm gonna raise up. I'm kind of just thinking about myself, and I'm thinking about my own tribe that I'm gonna start things like that. But I
Mhm.
see the importance of separating because you guys have to form that. identity, regardless or not if you get the reparations or not. Like it's
Exactly.
something that has to be done, and I totally get it, and I see this loop because the beach that we talking about, and I want to say this too before I lose my train of thought. The Redondo Beach was seized, and then when the family got the land back, they had to sell it for 20 million. I already know that they undervalued, that sale, but because
Mhm.
somebody would say, oh, like, why would you sell it? You could have turned it into this and this. And I'm like, who's gonna loan them the money to build something on that beach? No one
Yeah,
is.
they're not gonna do that. And I honestly, they gonna play dirty, bro.
Right,
You're not gonna get it fair. They probably are threatening your life. They're gonna play dirty, and you pretty much gonna need the whole black community to play security for you
right.
once you do a move like that. They have a term called "kill the competition." They literally killed their competition. Literally, niggas wind up dead. Niggas kids go missing. And you be trying to just get land, and this is shit is serious for them. They already killed some of our ancestors for our land. You know what I'm saying? So they will kill you if you get a if I have an ancestor that own 2,000 acres in New York City, bro, and I go and overturn that and get that back. My nigga, them Freemasons gonna be on my head top, bro. They're gonna be on my kids' head top, my brothers, my sisters, my family. This is war. That's the thing. People don't realize we're still at war. You know what I'm saying? This is not a game. So that's why I said slowly, because not saying it's too slow. Things are happening real fast right now. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening very fast, but um, you have to get more people on board. More people have to become aware. More people, because like I said, I understand when you was telling me how immigrants think. I know that's how they think, and I understand that's how they think because it's surface level thinking. If you look on the surface, it, white people made it seem like that. See, they designed it for you to think like this. They designed it to make it look like we ain't shit and we lazy or we ain't got nothing, and they designed your thought pattern to. They designed immigrants to feel and think like this, bro. This is what it called a psyop. It's a psychological operation. They played a psychological operation to make immigrants feel like they're better than us. To prove that they did this, think about it. They grouped all the immigrants together and put studies out that made Black Americans look bad. The Hispanics, oh, the Hispanic household earns more than Black Americans.
Yeah,
That don't
yeah,
even make sense. Why would you group 15 different countries together as if they're one people just because they speak Spanish and
yeah,
put them against one group of people?
yeah. That is
That's
very
not
true. That's very
that's
true.
not fair.
That's very true.
Then they say Africans earn more household income than See, they're using y'all against us, and on a surface level, of course you're going to think like that because you're African. But it's how many? It's 50 different countries. So you putting 1.5 billion people, 50 different countries who come to America, and you putting them all against one group of people, Black Americans. The way they did that because they did that with each other. They first did it with white people. They grouped all white people together, and we got jumped by Germany, France, England, Spain, Portuguese. We got jumped by 15 different kinds of white people, and they called them all white, but they all not the same. So they did it with each other first. Then they seen it work. Then they did it with us. Once we fought to get all the immigrants over here, they used it against us. They did it with the Hispanics. They did it with the Asians. Asians is 10, 15 different countries. Grouped them all together and said, yo, y'all Asians is that much better than Black Americans. Y'all all the same. And they only put studies out against Black Americans. If you pay attention, you see this shit floating around on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't really put no studies out against nobody that looks bad against anybody else.
You know
You know,
what? I don't want to lose track of where we going, because even though this is a conversation, I want to turn this into action. So I want to say this to the people that are on stream. If you've been on stream for all 10 hours, give yourself a pat on the back. I just dropped the Discord. Brooklyn, if you're not in the Discord, bro, I need you to get in the Discord ASAP. Any of you guys is watching this stream, hop in the Homies Hub Discord. When you guys are in my Discord, you understand the entire thought process behind me building the Homies Hub. Brooklyn, I want to say this before I ask my next question, because I want to ask the question about how you plan to attain reparations. I yield. You are free to jump in at any time, because I know you've been trying to speak for a little minute.
Peace.
My whole
peace from Britain.
What's up, bro? So just 1 second. So my whole thing is action, right? My whole thing is action. Like I said, I'm somebody that likes to put action behind my words. I want a grant already for building a blockchain system that recirculates wealth amongst the Black community. Is still something that I've been working on. You join a Discord, you get a little bit more of an idea in my digital nomad section. But I just want to know, is it possible that we could start moving this conversation into action? Because I wouldn't mind setting up a live stream that's dedicated to talking about this stuff, because this is where a lot of my passion is at, is just freeing Black people from the colonizers. And if it has to start with, the fight needs to be, held up inside America first, before it, hits all of like the rest of the countries, I'm down to do that. You know what I'm saying? But my question is, what is the plan? I don't know where FBAs congregate for conversation. I don't know. What is the plan for reparations? Is the plan to sue for it? Is the plan to begin boycotting? Like how are we? How is that conversation being had? Like, all right, we're gonna get reparations like this. We're gonna keep pushing in this direction until they give it to us. And is it that that you guys want reparations in a monetary amount, a land allotted amount, laws get changed, loans get, is it like a wealth generation policy needs to be put out? Like, what is the plan? What are the actual plans?
It's different plans, and people are already on. You already see the videos and what people doing in different states, bro. They're already doing that. They already got groups. They go into council meetings every week in the cities. Chicago got one, Cali got one, Detroit. They already got their shit going on, and they already putting together packages. See, for example, they came up with a package in California. You heard about the California? They were saying, "Oh, California gonna give reparations or some shit, right?"
No,
and then they scrapped it. This was like a year or so ago. It was like, "Oh, California is about to give reparations to Black Really, it was Black Americans, FBAs, that put together a package. I think Tariq Nasheed was involved in that because he lived in Cali. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Chicago. That's another thing. But it was scrapped by the Black Caucus in California. The Black Caucus is like the NAACP. It's a political group that's full of Black politicians. But more than 60% of these people are Black immigrants. And they was doing everything in the world to undermine this package. You know what I'm saying? And that's one reason why we have to delineate, because there's people that look just like us, and they can really play the part like they us. And they can speak on our behalf and speak against us. You know what I'm saying? And that's been happening a lot. Even outside of politics, on the regular media, when you see all these Black cool ass niggas like Officer Tatum and shit, or Candace Owens, Candace Owens talked about the Black community like dogs forever, and she's full Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? And it destroys the conversation. It puts in people's mind that we don't need what's owed to us. Like I said, we got, even without the money, let's say no money, We have millions of acres of land that was stolen from us. We need that back. We need that back. And see the reparations conversation that they've been having, even if our enemy decides not to give us reparations, they're opening people's mind and opening the door for people to understand how we built this country. Even them just fighting for reparations. Like over the past year or two, you've probably been hearing ways that we've built this country that you ain't even know. You ain't even know niggas invented this and invented that and invented the street light and all this other shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Because why do you didn't know that? It's by design. White people made sure to hide this information and not inform you. Just like we was talking about black Europeans earlier, and they was telling me how they was from Africa or whatever the case may be. But we know they were definitely black Europeans, like Moors and shit, that ruled the whole Europe. We didn't learn about them in public school because white people chose not to tell us. They decided that they wanted to whitewash Europe and make Europe look completely white. And that all this shit, greatness out of Europe was from white people. And that's cap. But they did the same thing in America. They whitewashed America. We fought in every war America had, even against Britain in the in the American Revolution. Black people was in that war, and black people was generals. They had black generals. But they want us to believe we all were slaves and we couldn't be, you know what I'm saying? So they whitewashed everything. So it's by design you think like this. So when an immigrant come here, they don't know that black Americans built the country. They think we're just riding off of white people, off of white success, and we just have what we have just because white people gave it to us. You know what I'm saying? And it's the opposite. White people never gave us nothing. They took it from us. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole opposite. Like an immigrant, any immigrant, they'll come here and they'll get resources. They'll wonder, damn, if I'm getting these resources and this Chinese man getting his resources and this Arab man getting all his resources, I know black Americans got these resources too. Why the fuck they ain't got shit? You feel me? And it's a natural line of thinking. It's natural for you to think that. You don't know how they're giving you playing favorites. You don't know how they playing favorites. You just know you're getting approved for mad shit. You heard? And we getting denied for shit. Nigga, I went to go open up a checking account at Key Bank when I was upstate New York. I put in my zip code from Crown Heights. They told me they don't bank with that zip code. Now the white man who was doing my application, this is all systematic at this point. The white man is not making no calls. He puts it in the computer, it tells him to open up an account or not. So the white man, he was doing my shit. He said, yo, I've been working here for 2 years. I've never seen nothing like this. And I know that there's a Key Bank in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? But he said, yo, and that goes to show you different neighborhoods get different approved for different amounts of credit. You go into a white neighborhood, you open up an account, you'll get approved for different amounts of credit versus a black neighborhood. Why? They still redline to this day. They just use zip codes. Predominant black zip codes is going to get less money. So you're only going to get certain amount of accounts or certain accounts that can be opened up in predominant black zip codes. But anyway, I was opening up an account. They told me I couldn't bank with them because of the zip code. And the white man, he said, yo, I don't know. I've never seen nothing like this before. Why? I said, I did. I know exactly what that is. He said, what? I said, that's redlining. And he couldn't believe it. There's some white people that's not racist that completely think we live in a fair society. You heard? There's a few white people that they probably not really that racist, but they've been sold because that's how they market America. They market America as fair. You know what I'm saying? Land of the free, home of the brave. You come here, you could do whatever. They're not marketing as if they're trying to keep a certain people down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By taking things.
Hey, yo. Ben and Zach, I know you've been in here for a little minute, man, but if you want to talk, man, the floor is yours. I want to make sure that you get your shit off before I end stream.
Yo, I need your Discord, though. My fault, go ahead.
Okay, peace from Britain.
What's up?
Nothing much. I've been subscribed to your channel for a while, but I got 4 different accounts, so I go between different accounts. I can't remember when I was subscribed to your channel. But yeah, but yeah, I'm subscribed. But long story short, I was listening in, and long story short, I rock with the FBA thing, and everything, and things of that nature. I just think, like, example, peace to the brother Brooklyn. I think because although I rock with a lot of people that do the FBA thing, I do have my non-disrespectful criticisms of a lot of FBAs. About example, one thing I've noticed about, like, example, somewhere like New York and Chicago, I've noticed that they're Democratic cities and states, or Illinois. And long story short, I see a lot of problems with a lot of like Black Americans in Democratic run states or cities. And I keep thinking, okay, if Black Americans are going to keep voting Democrats, the floodgates of degeneracy is going to keep flowing. You know, because I saw things, like, example, in Chicago, I saw a whole load of immigrants being dumped in Black neighborhoods. But I'm thinking, well, this is what you get if you vote Democrat. This is what you get if you don't vote Democrat. You ain't gonna get this. You know, and so, you know, my question is, or not even my question. I just think that, you know, a lot of like, you know, like the redlining problems again, Democratic states and cities, and, you know, I just start thinking, okay, why have Black Americans got such this attachment to the Democratic Party, who give them so much of these problems?
Martin Luther King, he's the first one to transition us to the Democratic Party, and he even though the Democrats started the Ku Klux Klan, but he you know, that's why we say he's a sellout, because he told us peace and nonviolence and shit like that, and he helped us integrate. And integration was really about white people owning all our shit, because they didn't own all our shit before. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really about us coming together. But Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement, they got us on the Democratic plantation. But I'm gonna say this, bro. It doesn't matter which side you vote for. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Our problem is white foreigners. It doesn't matter which side. The Republicans ain't gonna do nothing either. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Democrats have been the main culprits, but the Republicans will be the main culprits if we think that the Republicans is a solution, because they're on the same timing. It's just that the Democrats are like frenemies. You know what I'm saying? They're people that, you know, they act like they friends, but they, you know, they're enemies. Whereas the Republicans let us know, yo, we enemies. You feel me? We enemies, nigga. So it doesn't matter. Both of them right now, they pledging allegiance to Israel. So it doesn't matter which side you vote for, but they'll make it seem like one side is worse than the other. So you could play in on, they always play this good cop, bad cop. That's a Freemason tactic. You heard? The twin pillar is a Freemason. It's a tactic they use. Good cop, bad cop, good president, bad president, a good politician, bad politician. You know, Trump right now, Trump is supposed to be the hero and the solution for America. That's only because he's playing good president. Joe Biden played the bad president. Trump is going to play the good president. The next president is going to be bad. They do this on and off switch so you can keep buying into the United States system. You know what I'm saying? As an American, because they kind of lost the trust of white Americans with the COVID thing or with the jab thing. They kind of lost the trust of white Americans. So to get them back, they got Trump in office. And most of the people are seeing now, it doesn't matter who you vote for. They both pledge an allegiance to Israel. They just have two different ways of going about their path of destruction. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but what my issue is, personally, because how can I say, if I was a black person in America, I wouldn't vote for any of these parties, because I've seen what they have to offer. Nothing. Mm-hmm. What the Democrats, Republicans, what the Greens, what they have to offer on these other groups as well. They don't have anything good to offer. So, you know, my question is going to still be, my question would be, why would Black Americans vote for any of these parties if they don't have anything good to offer? Because how can I say, when you vote, voting is hope. Hope is a currency, and personally, I believe when it comes to my own personal hope, I don't want my hope messed around with. Think about it. I hit the link hoping I could get on. I got a job interview on the 7th of August, but I applied for that job hoping that I could get a job interview. But even when I had that job interview, I'm hoping I can get that job. So it's like, when you get disrespected in return for your hope, or you get nothing in return for your hope, it's how could I say, it's disheartening. But my question is, Black America have been going with that from the 60s, and they've been getting very little or nothing in return. And my question is, how can this keep going on for 60 years if you get nothing in return?
It's not. It's not, bro. If you notice, you see the shift now. You see the shift now. People saying they not fucking with the Democrats.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah. So you see the tide now. You see people talking about they delineate. You saying some people like fuck this voting shit. Then some people like, yo, fuck the Democrats. Some people on some Republican shit, which that's even not the answer. That's because I don't want to spend another 40 years on a Republican Party. You heard, like, that's fuck all that. Nah. You know what I'm saying? But people getting the message, bro, thanks to social media. See, before social media, all of this information wasn't available where you can consume all this information to come to your own conclusions like that. You had to watch the news. You know what I'm saying? And when you watch the news, they're gonna feed you some BS on no matter where you at. In America, in the UK, in Africa, all of these governments are colluding together, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're all colluding, even in Africa. You feel me? A lot of them, even all these wars, most of these wars are capped. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Cambodia right now. They was just saying Thailand and Cambodia had a little war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, over the border, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't. I honestly really don't believe that shit because I think they spew fear in citizens' hearts, so we could think that the government have more power than what they are because there's more citizens than there is government in every country. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because if we really went to war so many times, how come New York City ain't get attacked? You know what I'm saying? We went to war mad times, bro. New York ain't never get bombed. So I don't understand how come all these major cities are never Tokyo. We going to war with Japan, why Tokyo ain't get destroyed? If we going to war with China, why Beijing? Africa, any country and not any major city, you feel me? Why nobody's bombing these major cities? It's always a threat that somebody's gonna bomb. It's never nobody doing it. That's why and then I just found out that nuclear weapons wasn't real. And they was putting fake CG, like our grandparents' generation, they was selling them on nuclear weapons, and they was putting a lot of CGI fake footage that you can see now because technology has improved. You could look back at them videos from the 1950s and 40s. That shit was fake. Them footage, that shit was edited and it was mad fake, and you could tell now, like, nah, there's some fake footage, bro. That nuclear weapon shit, that shit don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas ain't got no nuclear weapons, bro. They want to strike fear in people because they control through fear. They only control through fear. When everybody was getting the jab, what was they saying? Yo, if you don't get the jab, you could die. You could catch this, you could die. Your elderly, your grandmother could die. If you might be healthy, but your grandmoms could die if you fuck around get this shit. So, or you could lose your job. You know what I'm saying? So it's fair. And I wanted to address somebody in a comment. They said, why I didn't talk about the prison thing. My bad. I almost forgot about that. The prison thing is obviously a design, right? Most Black Americans specifically are not in prison for violent crimes, right? Most Black Americans are in prison through mass incarceration for possession of a weapon, possession of a drug. If you go to Rikers Island in New York City, most people are going to be for selling weed, carrying a gun, or maybe selling some crack, right? This is possession. Now, some people may say, well, those are drugs. You should be locked up for that. I disagree because alcohol is a drug. And there's mad niggas that drink alcohol. Alcohol kill more people than cocaine. And everybody, mad people drink alcohol. Should the bartender or the bar owner go to jail for 25 years because he's selling alcohol when alcohol is considered a drug and was illegal at one point? It. I don't drink alcohol, probably barely. So if you drink alcohol, that's your business if you want to do that shit. Somebody shouldn't be able to lock you up because you want to drink alcohol or you want to sell alcohol. Now with the crack thing, crack was bought here. Cocaine was bought here by the CIA. It was bought in America by the CIA. Fidel Castro, um, not Fidel Castro. What's son name? The major coke dealer from Colombia. I forgot his name. You know what I'm saying? But they were saying how the US, the United States, is the biggest purchaser of cocaine. I think Bank of America or it was JP Morgan, they got
JP
caught with
Morgan,
like, yeah, back in 2020, they got caught with like 2,000 pounds or some shit of cocaine.
$1.2 billion worth of cocaine in
I'm
2019.
I'm glad you caught that, bro, because most people did not catch that. So we have brothers that's in the feds doing life for selling a pound or getting caught with a pound, and these people get the slap on the wrist. You never hear it about it in the media. We got RICO charges. They didn't get no RICO. This is JP Morgan. You know what I'm saying? So this is the kind of activity. So when people say, yo, it's mad people that make fucked up decisions, bro, it's 40 million, 42, 43 million black Americans, bro. How many people are in prison? Less than 1%. Less than 1%. And then out of that, most of them are in prison for possession, not even hurting nobody. Probably the violent charges are probably go up to like a couple thousand throughout the whole United States every year. You know what I'm saying? Probably like 1,000 or 2,000 violent charges every year throughout the whole United States. There's 40 million of us, bro. You know what I'm saying? So do the math. Your attention span, you just paying attention to the niggas that's doing that. And not just doing that. Like I said, they also designed for them to they bought the cocaine in America and then they lock you up for it. So it's slavery, you know what I'm saying? And they pass laws, mass incarceration, to incarcerate you to get free labor out of you for the next 25, 30 years. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Everybody's not just fucking up. Carrying weed. A lot of people are in jail for marijuana, bro. Smoking weed, carrying marijuana. That's not wrong with that. Just like it's not wrong with somebody want to drink and drink alcohol, bro. Alcohol is worse than marijuana. People don't go to jail for alcohol today. Alcohol will destroy your liver and your kidneys, fuck you up. And then a lot of alcoholics become abusive and abuse their wife or abuse their husband or abuse their kids. Alcohol is worse than marijuana, and you don't see bar owners getting 30 years to life. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you right now that they're not looking for because they try to fool you and think they're putting these people in jail for your safety. No, it's not for your safety, bro. It's so they can enslave you, since they can't legally slave you, since slavery is illegal unless you commit a crime. So then they create crimes that's not crimes. These are what we call non-violent crimes. So they can imprison you for and then still get that free labor.
So I wanted to say this just because I definitely got to call it. We are on an 11-hour stream. I appreciate all of you guys that left, came back, tapped in. I want to carry this conversation on into the Discord. I do want us to actively, even if you guys just see this as a travel channel, I see this as a cover up to build a real community to make
Yo,
change.
what's your YouTube channel again, though, bro? My fault. I'm subscribed to you, but I don't, and I think you shadow banned. So I looked up
the Homies Hub right here. The Homies Hub. You look that up. You see this logo. But yeah, I know a couple people gonna want to talk to you in the Discord. A couple niggas gonna want to grill you in the Discord. But I do want to set that up to have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? But thank you to everybody that was on here supporting the stream. I want to carry this conversation on. if you guys want to catch more of how this conversation went with some of the other guys that were on the panel throughout the night, you can play the whole stream back. You're gonna hear me go off for a little bit. But yeah, this was definitely my longest stream. So shout out to y'all. If you enjoyed the conversation, man, bless the Cash App, $ Homies Hub, send a super chat. For those of y'all that came on, man, I do appreciate it. Brooklyn, if you don't got a gram or whatever, drop your gram, or you could drop it in the private chat.
I'm a driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep you on, but I appreciate you guys, man. I gotta take my ass to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some sleep. So it's still early.
Can you post my gram though?
Yeah.
You don't mind?
Yeah. If you want me to post it.
Yeah, I can't go on YouTube on the same phone I'm on this shit on his own.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Type your gram and I'll pull it up.